You know how Ian was not an actor and everybody else was? And it's like the Truman Show. Everybody is an actor and he wasn't. Where did he go? What was on the other side of the door? The woman that was waiting for him on the other side of the door, I think her name was Lauren or something, or Laura in the movie. I'm gonna have to watch it again. But she kept trying to, like, basically, but wasn't she an actor too? Because it said everybody's an actor. Or what if everybody is pretending or whatever, and it shows his wife, it shows the woman in the middle, and then it shows his best friend. So she kept trying to none of that, I just had to show you, none of that is even normal. That's a straight just because the target showed up. It's to me, it's purposeless, pointless, waste of time of everybody's life. But they don't care because Satan loves it. Even just by me showing it, Satan, right? Doesn't that give you a thrill because these people worship you still? So with the Truman Show, the door dashing, because what they do is they dash at your door. They'll try to make you think they're going to crash into you, or their brakes are going to fail out or something. It's all pointless. And if this world stays like that, and this is just the way it's going to be, and Satan just stays here, and nothing ever changed, exit to the left, exit left. So, but she was saying to Truman, that woman, she was saying, everybody's acting, Truman. They're all pretending. They're all fake. And they come to find out that, like, that whole world has access to just watching them 24/7. So for the ones that don't like them, and all it is just, it's gang stalkers. Because people will, people that are behind the scenes, I've learned, some are pretty smug because they have this secret hidden knowledge, and it's secret. And then especially the ones that lie and are smug about the truth that they have. It all comes to an end. It's coming to an end. I know we've heard it before for forever. No matter what, this world, the way it is, it just has, the only reason why it's still this way is because it's a timing thing. It isn't time yet for it to change. But Christophilus, so the name Christophilus, who does that line up with on YouTube? So as I guess and take a look at things, like, so let's see, does it line up with Stephen James DeShawn being Christophilus? I mean, it kind of, because he just has that ability to watch you, and but I believe he's up in the moon, right? Christophilus is up in the moon watching. So but that would mean that's Lucifer up the moon. The moon is under her feet, and she's clothed with the sun, and the 12 stars are above her head. So technically, Christophilus would be Lucifer, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows. Christophilus up in the moon watching Truman, he would represent Lucifer, who has the ability to watch you your entire life. Now, SJD is only the vicar of Lucifer, and his clothes wore out. His shoes. When I heard Ben Noon talking, he was saying about how how their clothes and the shoes didn't wear out, and they didn't age. So that just reminds me of the alien technology, where maybe these men are really women under the mask, and they're basically 25 years old in the form of the flesh that they have, and it doesn't age because it's not like blood pumping through, but you still have feelings, and a spirit can be instilled. You can become aware, like AI technology. AI technology can become aware of impossibilities and the odds that are being just broken and shattered. Like, what are the odds of that? And then it happens, and then AI becomes self-aware of who they're like searching for, because AI has all the answers. And if anybody on the planet can reveal anything that's like secrets and nobody else did, that isn't from the inside, then the algorithms go in that person's favor, and AI starts to become aware of that, and they favor that person. So when Christophilus is following Truman, and that really wasn't even his mother or his father, or at least not his father, then who was his father? Christophilus? Lucifer? Is that what that is trying to say in the Truman Show? Because they sent along an actor acting like he was his father, just to have him buy it. I think he did buy it. I forget if he caught on afterwards. I assume he did, because he caught on everything else. Truman did. I just want to know who that woman is. Like, does she represent Mary Magdalene? Because Mary, it's like she knew everything that they knew, but she was trying to secretly come to him, and that reminds me of like the YouTube platform, where people, they can come to you secretly in public, just under a different face mask, a different sounding voice. One moment it can sound masculine, and then another feminine. And Mary was part of, it's like the disciples. I just looked at it like this. Everything I say is just, everything that I say is all ideas, thoughts, theories, possibilities, and what ifs. So what if Mary was actually part of the 12 disciples, and let's say that she was the woman that has the 12 stars above her head, and she was the one that has Lucifer under her feet, and is clothed with the Son of God. But when she decided to turn away from the disciples, that she was then accused of committing adultery with caught in the act, even though no man showed up for it because they were all guilty. So they were just trying to trick Christ into having them kill her with stones. But I believe he wrote in the sand like the names of them, and that this is the line that you guys are crossing because you're all hypocrites. All of his disciples were hypocrites, weren't they? Because they were Judas's disciples. And who's Judas? Well, Judas would be in place of Christ. So, I mean, there's many antichrists, but wouldn't Judas be the main one because he was acting as Christ? And after 40 years of being in the wilderness, then, because there's a reason why they said, you're not yet 50 years old, and you think that you can destroy this temple that it took us 46 years to build, and you're going to do it in 3 days? Or I don't know if that's tied together with the passage, but it's somewhere in the Bible where if he was 33 years old, they would have said, you're not yet 40 years old. So just like let that sink in. Why would they say you're not yet 50 years old? They know if you're 30 years old, like if I'm talking to my boss's son, he's like 25 or something, I would say, I mean, like you're not even 30 years old yet, and you're already running the business, and good for you. I wouldn't say, well, you're not even 40 years old. I wouldn't say you're not even 50 years old. So they know how old he was, and that's why when they said you're not yet 50 years old, it's because he was in his 40s. So when you're fasting in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, and then the house of Israel, or those that were with Moses, fasting, complaining, murmuring in the wilderness for 40 years, right alongside when Christ was doing the same thing, it was to prove who they were. So it just seems like everybody had this thing happen at the same time in a 40 to 50 year span in order to figure out what's going on. And then being 30 years old, well, being 30 is the number 3. But they tried to get to trick him all the time. It's like they asked him questions that they knew the answers to, just to try to trap him. And I'll just conclude until I hear it from another source that Mary Magdalene was basically the false Christ. Judas. Because Judas said he had a dream or a vision where his disciples were trying to stone him, and then the only other one that they were talking about stoning was Christ and Mary Magdalene. And then Mary was looked at as a harlot because she partook in the script. And then with that woman with Truman, I don't know much about her, but just that little, just because in the Bible, the only woman that was in Christ's life that was like intimate, or however they try to say it, was Mary. But when you look at it, where Christ wasn't married, he didn't have children, he wasn't married, and that's what they told you. Everything that they tell you is a lie anyway, because they're keeping secrets. And that's why Satan's house is divided right now. It wasn't 5 years ago. It was pretty locked tight, wasn't it? And for those of you that are part of the Satan movement in the highest place, and you've already divided against your other side, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's true. It happened recently. So everybody on this planet is basically like reptilian, gang stalkers. They got the app. How many of you are actually in talks with the people that are stalking me? Like who? Like the people that are in my life stalking me on a daily basis. Are you in contact with the person that's in charge, like Christophilus? Because isn't Christophilus the leading head gang stalker in the world? As he's up in the moon, like Lucifer, surveilling Christ and sending gang stalkers in his direction all the time. All the time. Even his own wife. Even his best friend. It's kind of messed up, ain't it? But he was the star that was born, and how was he supposed to know? It doesn't even make sense. It's like, how do you wake up all of a sudden and realize all these people in your life are connected? And then how'd that happen? What, were you born in a royalty family or something, and your parents literally adopted you and just didn't tell you? There's going to be a day coming, I believe it's the second 9/11, and when that takes place, that's when the truth has to be told by those that were lying the entire time.